Oh, yeah. Mike, are you feeling the sadness right about now?
I'm in denial so that I don't feel sad.
It's okay. Because this song is called Come Home. And really, it's all about you being on the show today. Because you've been gone since the bunny suit episode.
I didn't think we could top it, so I was thinking of just never coming back.
Well, too bad. Tonight you have to play. For those that are wondering, Mike and I did not, or Dink, did not advance the top 10. It was bad. It was really bad. I had an especially tough night because if you listen to the show on Wednesday, I was all about Mello over Boogie, and my testicles just weren't large enough. And 20 minutes before lineups lock, I decided to scrap that plan and go with Tyler over, instead of going with 3 Nicks, Tyler being my only Nick. And I went with Boogie. And it was heartbreaking, I'm not going to lie. So, you and I talked about this off air on G-Chat, Mike, but we're both fading this tonight's action on Draft Street because we don't want to know. We do not want to know.
I mean, if you put up a score tonight on Draft Street that would have won you the $100K, and then you lost because you got off the boogie fade 20 minutes before, like, that would be a way worse feeling than the money that you would actually win tonight.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be worth it.
Yeah, you would have to, I mean, yeah, the question is how much money would you, like, win tonight that would make it worth playing? And the answer is not enough, really.
Yeah. Dink told me he signed up for games, and I'm like, you're crazy. And he's like, yeah, maybe I should just put in a bunch of invalid teams. It might be worth it just for the emotional distress.
Yeah, he is. He said, should I just do invalid? And I was like, well, no, but maybe not check your teams till Sunday.
Don't try too hard. Just cash them double ups. That's it.
Or just like put in a really bad team so that
put in a team you would have never played.
Yeah, that's the answer. Put in a team you never played. So, anyways, we hope to get Dave on the show. He's been having some technical difficulties.
Skype hates me.
That's okay.
Simple as that. Skype hates me. I'm here. My voice is here. Maybe my face will be here a little bit later.
Maybe. Go into your settings and see if you can activate the webcam.
It's not the webcam. My face is showing up. Mike could see me. It wouldn't allow me to access the call. I would hit access call and it would go in and then it would go right out.
Oh, so, gosh. Hate when that happens.
I'm working on it, though. Don't worry. You guys might get a surprise in a few minutes.
Wow. Oh, man. Very nice. Mike, as far as news tonight, I want to thank you yesterday because you basically told me that Pau Gasol was out. So I immediately went to DraftDay, sponsor of the Insiders TV show, and entered the Rapid Fire Max and the Rapid Fire because Pau was one of the options. And then you told me later, oh, scratch that. It's just he missed practice. I want to thank you, though, because of that, I actually won the Rapid Fire Max last night.
Good job. Good job.
Well, I had to remind you after, you got a little annoyed that you joined those, that you are self-proclaimed having won the most rapid fires in history. So there's really no bad day for you to play rapid fire.
Self-proclaimed, Mike.
I don't know. I'm pretty sure if Scott's in the chat, he will tell you that I am the biggest winner in history. There's a little bit of an echo. Dave, I'm guessing that you're not using your microphone.
No, man, I'm working on it. Just give me 1 minute.
Okay. I can just hear myself. It's okay.
Dave's a mess.
He is.
That's what happens when I go away for 2 weeks.
Yeah. Echo.
Oh,
So
and that stupid Photoshop you did last week
yeah,
when I was in Florida.
yeah. What about it?
My whole family is like looking at this thing.
You're mentioning Photoshop, but like, do you even know about the like? Do you know that people probably don't even know what you're talking about?
I guess I shouldn't have brought it up. I don't know if I want people to know what I'm talking
No, it's
about.
okay. Since you brought it up,
You can show people your handiwork, which my entire family saw because my godfather follows me on Twitter.
oh gosh,
And my wife now thinks that Soccer Dave is the funniest guy ever. He's, way better than the rest of my quote-unquote nerdy internet friends.
well, it's kind of true. Can you just turn down the sound, Dave, until you get the echo issue figured out?
Yeah, is that down?
Yeah, pretty much. Problem is, you probably can't hear us now. It's okay though. This is the Photoshop from last week when Drew and Mike were in Florida together having their pillow fight. Some might say Photoshop, some might say real. So that is how you get it started. That's how you get the show started. Let's just go ahead and jump right into it. News for tonight, Mike. Any big news that you're seeing out there?
LaMarcus Aldridge is out.
Big news.
That's not big?
I said that I'm saying big news.
Oh, you're reinforcing. Okay.
Yeah.
Our chemistry's off.
Yes, it is. Probably because you've missed the past month with excuses like your car had an appointment to be inspected, which...
Sorry that our cars don't just drive around and blow up in New York State.
Yeah, I'm sure they
Do we mean nothing to you, Mike?
No, they don't. And Dave, you don't even have really any room to talk today, so I'll just go ahead and take up for Mike. That's enough from you. Dave, as far as the LaMarcus Aldridge news, what are you like? Are you playing T-Rob, D-Wright? You going with Batum? Kind of. That's how Batum was grabbing a lot of rebounds when LaMarcus was hurt a few weeks ago. What is your inclination saying?
Yeah, Batum was grabbing like 12.4 rebounds per game over his last 7, and some of those big ones were with Aldridge in the lineup. So I don't see any reason why he shouldn't have a nice game tonight. He's going to play around 40 minutes, and I think now that Aldridge is out, this game is going to stay close. It's in what I like to call the Pelican's Nest, which also means it's down in New Orleans. So I don't see any reason why this game shouldn't stay close. Now, on the other hand, it's really not easy to choose between Darrell Wright and Thomas Robinson. Personally, I would go with Robinson in a GPP because the upside far outweighs Darrell Wright. But if you're looking for a safe 18 to 20 fantasy points, I think you have to go with Wright, given that he starts as he had all the other times that Aldridge was out.
I think Robinson might start, though, in which case...
Oh, is that what they said? If Robinson starts, there's no doubt you want him in your lineup. I just didn't see that yet.
I don't know if it's confirmed, but they're projecting the Oregonian paper is projecting him to start. So I guess it's not confirmed. But if he starts, yeah, screw Darrell Wright, all T-Rob.
You said the Oregonian?
Yeah.
I thought it was the Oregonian. Is that not what it is?
This Roto World doesn't come with a pronunciation key.
You need one of those.
So...
Kyle in the chat mentions mentions Rolo as the guy that you might want to target tonight. He also had some very good games whenever LaMarcus was out. So, yeah.
I just looked up some stats, based on when Aldridge is on the floor versus off. And Damian Lillard's usage rate is about 25 on the season, and it jumps up to 30 when Aldridge is off the floor, which is, that's a huge increase. That's a 20% increase in his usage rate. and the formula for that involves points, assists, and turnovers. So if you apply it to those, anywhere he's priced where he has been would be severely underpriced. Batum's rebounding rate is like 13.3% with Aldridge off the floor versus 10 with him on it. So we talked about how we like him. And then I think Rolo is the one guy that doesn't seem to get too much of a shift other than probably more secure minutes.
Yeah. Yeah, his minutes were up. And against, like, you have to remember Rolo tonight in a revenge game going up against the Pelicans. So there was an article today in the New Orleans paper about did the Pelicans make a mistake with releasing Robin Lopez. So the revenge factor is overplayed for sure. However, when it's fresh and it's like the first or second game back against your old team, it's just human nature that you want to play well, and I think playing at the place he played at last year wants to prove himself of value. So I do think you can kind of put that into perspective. I mean, when we talk about revenge factor of like Zach Randolph going against the Trailblazers when he played there 7 years ago, like, yeah, obviously not as fresh. He's moved on. But when it's the year after and certain circumstances, you always want to play well against your old team. All right, so you have on draft day Lopez under 10K. You've got Thomas Robinson at 6,250. We need to mention that tonight is the night for the draft day 100K Hardwood Classic. The first night, it's 200 entries, $535 entry, and then basically is a survivor format to where tonight the top 64 advance to tomorrow, and then tomorrow they start the brackets. Mike, are you stretching for something, or are we about to do something that I didn't realize?
Just getting ready for the rest of the show.
Okay, well, all right.
Gotta stay loose.
Yeah, we really needed to have a warm-up session. I feel like Dave kind of threw us off our game with the whole Skype issue. So
I
Dave,
threw myself off my game, Dave. I'm so frustrated. I'm about to punch a hole through my damn computer right now. Okay. I'm so pissed off.
Before you do that, make sure your video's working so we can see.
I will, but guess what? I don't think it's gonna work. I'm sitting here and it's just, oh my god.
Are you on Windows 8?
The rest of my day.
Are you in Windows 8, or are you still on Windows Millennium Edition?
On Windows 8.
Okay.
This is going to sound really stupid, but sometimes in the Skype calls, I accidentally hit the camera video to turn off the video feed.
Yeah. No, it's okay. We'll get it figured out. I don't want Dave, you to punch a hole in your computer. Let's just talk about some of the games. As far as the biggest blowout, it's going to be this LA at San Antonio.
Maybe.
Well, what do you think it's going to be?
It could easily. I mean, the Pacers haven't really been blowing anybody out recently, but I think both of those games have a pretty easy chance of being just disasters.
Yeah, well, Indiana at Philadelphia, also, they're around the same spread. As far as these two games go, someone asked on Twitter about Evan Turner against his old team. People are going to want to play Lance Stevenson tonight against the Sixers. You can also look at backups for both these teams as potential value plays in GPPs, assuming that they're going to get fourth quarter minutes. Dave, what is your take on basically these games as far as, are you wanting to fade these games completely?
I don't want to fade him. I'm a little bit nervous about him, but I think Stevenson, I know he burned a lot of people the other day. I think it was Wednesday night. But at the same time, this is an ideal matchup for him because the Sixers play at the fastest pace in basketball, and he's going to have plenty of opportunities for rebounds, assists. He'll get some points. He'll get some threes. Sixers allow more three-pointers than any other team in the league. Excuse me. And yeah, I just don't see any reason why on somewhere like DraftKings where he's 6,200, or DraftDay where I think he's like 11,600, where he isn't worth a look. Even George Hill, 4,800 on FanDuel. He's averaging around 35 fantasy points over his last 4 games against the Sixers, and he's been more involved in the offense recently too over the last 2 games. If you look, he's shooting the ball a lot more, so that's something to take a look at. And then you have Roy Hibbert, 57 fantasy points in his last game against the Sixers. He is really volatile. He's risky, but I still like him. David West. Paul George is the one guy that I'm not too interested in tonight because all those other guys are at a relatively cheap enough price where you don't need a full 4 quarters usually. But with Paul George, he's still pricey enough where you're going to need more production out of him, relatively speaking, than you would out of the other guys. But I like that game tonight. I think that it's in Philly. They won't keep it close, but there will still be plenty of fantasy points.
Mike?
Yeah, I like going back to Lance Stevenson. I know he let a lot of people down, us included, on Wednesday night. But you kind of just got to forget about that short-term memory in daily fantasy. The best thing about him being terrible the other night is the price comes down. And, kind of the way the rotation works, I still expect him to get 30 minutes, even in a big, blowout type of game. Normally I don't worry too much. Laufey and I have talked about this before, about not worrying too much about blowouts, but these 2 games tonight are kind of the exception when you get in those point spreads that are like 17, 18 points versus, 10, 11, 12 points. These are the games where you can easily have guys not play any of the fourth quarter. And so the Spurs guys you kind of want to avoid, I think, like Duncan, Parker. Wouldn't be surprising if, one of their veterans sat tonight, or maybe even more than one.
Yeah, Mike's got a point. I think the one guy, though, that I'm kind of interested in because he just kind of is an all-around contributor. And Mike, you're right. This could be really ugly real quick, especially with Popovich. You don't know what's going to happen. Like, if this was the Blazers or something, you know that they're going to play at least 3 full quarters. But in this case, I think Kawhi Leonard's still worth looking at because he's not too expensive, and he's been extremely consistent since coming back from injury. But other than that, like Tim Duncan, I don't have any faith in Duncan. Parker, he's scoring, but his peripherals are just in the basement. So I don't know. Maybe some people like Splitter. I think if you find him really cheap, but I don't trust him the slightest bit. But I don't know. Maybe Ginobili and Green and GPPs, but that's as far as it goes.
I like Patty Mills off the bench and GPPs, but it's one of those situations where it's really tough because on one hand you don't want to fade it because someone's going to hit value, someone's going to exceed value. You just don't know who it's going to be. It's going to be a bench guy, a starting guy. Same thing for Indiana. There's going to be value, you just don't know where it's going to lie. And those type of situations, I think I'm okay just playing those in tournaments versus forcing myself to guess on where the value is going to be in a cash game.
Yeah, right. And what happens in the off chance that LA actually does keep this game kind of close, or at least close enough to keep the starters in longer than we expected? And that's the issue with fading people on blowouts.
Mm-hmm. Right, because if Duncan plays and it's randomly close, he's going to have a monster game. He's gonna
exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Yeah, this is going to be... those 2 games are kind of sick.
Yeah, and George Hill is a guy that I was collecting data for something I was working on and just kind of looking at how guys do in certain matchups. And he was someone that his fantasy points per game based on the ease of the matchup was like textbook, like correlation. Like the easier it got, the better fantasy points per game on average, which, I mean, that's how it's supposed to work, but in a perfect world, in the real world, it doesn't always work that way. With him, it seems that he consistently does well in easy matchups, so he might be a guy, especially with the lower price point, easier for him to hit value and less playing time that I would look at.
I really like that research idea, Mike. I like that because a lot of guys, the favorable matchups mean nothing to them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was hoping to have a strategy article on it, but the data collection just ended up taking too long. But I think next year, hopefully, I'll have something on it.
No, get that out tonight, if you would. Thank you. George Hill, looking at his past two games, 33-25. Now, you talked about his ease, and then against Houston, he pulled a 7.25.
Right, and they're top 5 in defensive efficiency against point guards.
Yeah, they've been great. Pat Beverly's been excellent against point guards this year. Stephen Curry, before he hit this slump right now, the only two bad games this guy had, I mean maybe one or two more, but the two of the worst games he had this year through the first 3 months were against Houston.
Yeah, Houston is 4th in the NBA on the season in defensive efficiency against point guards.
I'm sorry, I thought you were talking about pace and not defensive efficiency.
No, sorry, this was just defensive efficiency. I wasn't calculating in pace.
Mike, that's not your fault. You never said pace. Dave's just assuming.
It's my fault. I fully take the blame on that.
So you just kind of made my point for me. So thanks, Dave.
Okay, there you go. Thanks, Mike. I will say on Wednesday, George Hill was taking over the show, and Lance Stevenson was watching him take over the show. It was basically Lance standing out on the three-point line, and George Hill on the pick and roll, going baseline. I mean, just was very.
It was so gross to watch as someone that owned Lance, and then you got these Evan Turner ISO plays, and I wanted to break something.
Yeah, it's definitely of some concern tonight. But if that's the case and you are concerned about that, I think you go with George Hill simply because he's cheaper and there's less risk. There's considerably less risk every time you take a guy that's cheaper. And if George Hill on FanDuel is 48 and Lance Stevenson 71, if Lance Stevenson gives you 30 and George Hill gives you 30, you're sitting real pretty with George, and now you're a little bit upset about Stevenson because you could have got the same production out of Hill. So I think right now, if he's significantly cheaper across most of the sites, Hill's probably the better option. If you look at his field goal attempts too, he's shooting the ball a lot. So
he's also shooting guard eligible on draft day, which is nice.
Yeah, and DraftKings, right? Or did Laufer already say that?
What?
Shooting guard eligible on DraftKings and Draft Day.
Who's Hill?
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't say it. You did now, though.
Nice. As far as Evan Turner, 5.5K against Philadelphia.
No.
On draft day, I don't think it's a bad pump play for tournaments. I mean, you got to think he's going to get 25 minutes, and he's at minimum salary.
He might, on draft day.
Yeah,
he's worth a look if he's that cheap. But on he's 6,000, I think, or maybe not. But he's definitely way more than I'd like to spend on DraftKings. He's attempting 3 field goals per game over his last 3 games. He hasn't attempted more than 5 field goals in a game. More than once in his last 5. Turner's never had a clutch bone in his body. I put that in the Insiders column today because this guy, I watched him play since he came out up in the draft, and this guy just cannot. He's not clutch. So I have trouble believing that we can look at this and say, "Oh, revenge factor." There's no revenge factor. Damn, this dude's happy to be out of Philadelphia. What's the revenge factor when you're begging and pleading to go somewhere else? Oh, I ended up on the bench in Indiana. What a terrible situation. Let me come back to Philadelphia where they're not going to win another game for the rest of the season. So I'm not really sure there's much revenge here. But if you think maybe he wants to show his teammates that he can play, then roll him out there. But there's a very good chance that this dude's going to put up hardly anything tonight.
Yeah, I agree. It's a good point that you're making. As far as tonight, the other games that we have to talk about, Minnesota. Before we get to that, we did have a question. Lance at 6.2 or George Hill at 5.4 on DraftKings. Who would you choose, Dave?
I really wouldn't be. I wouldn't be against taking both of them on DraftKings, but I'd say Lance, the one place I really like him is DraftKings because he is that cheap, and it's hard to fade him when he's only 800 more than Hill. So I got to go Lance on DraftKings, but definitely Hill on FanDuel, no question.
Mike?
Lance on DraftKings, where it's that close.
Yeah, I agree. You just have to think that he's going to break out sometime soon.
And why not tonight? Because, he's going to fall into rebounds and assists and steals tonight. He's going to slip and fall and have the ball land on his chest because that's how bad Philadelphia is. They can't rebound. They're terrible positioning. I mean, it's unbelievable watching just where it looks like they're looking for someone in the stands half the time. So I don't know. I don't see any reason why he shouldn't kill them tonight, relatively speaking.
Right. Not literally.
No. I meant relatively speaking in the sense where 40 fantasy points would be killing them, whereas for someone like LeBron, it'd be 65, 70 fantasy points. Sorry, needed to clarify that.
So other news that we forgot to talk about is that Klay Thompson is going to be out tonight, and it makes you wonder about Steve Blake using him. I like him. I think he's an interesting play. 7K on DraftDay, again, shooting guard eligible. Going to get plenty of minutes tonight. Mike, your thoughts?
I thought I saw somewhere that Harrison Barnes might start, and that's nice.
Yeah, too, Mike.
Cheap, small forward.
I saw the same thing, Mike. But I still like.
Yeah, so Cleveland's not very good against shooting guards or small forwards. Just defensively in general, they're not very good. So I like Harrison Barnes a lot, especially on like FanDuel, where he's a really cheap small forward, and you need two small forwards.
So Harrison Barnes going to start at the 2?
I think they're going to play.
Iguodala would move to the 2. That's what I would.
Yeah.
Think. I don't know.
I like it.
Yeah, Iggy at 2, Barnes at 3. Blake should still see good time off the bench, though. I don't think your play goes out the window. It's just whenever you're talking a bench player, there's inherent risk there.
So Barnes or Draymond? In this case, you would go Barnes because the big men are still going to be playing. So yeah, that's where I would go with that. Even if they are going big, they're still going to be. I think the answer is still Barnes. As far as Tyreke Evans, he is playing, and we did have a question: Ariza or Tyreke tonight? Mike?
Tyreke.
Are
we in rapid fire yet?
No.
Oh, does that mean I have to give an explanation?
No, you don't. You don't. Just say that you don't like Ariza.
I don't like Ariza. I'm going to go with Tyreke.
All right, that's fine. Dave, you in the same boat?
Yeah, especially on DraftKings. He's 6,600 on DraftKings.
Proper says George Hill questionable ? That's news for me. He looks fine. Why are you laughing, Mike?
Questionable ?
In case people couldn't understand the tone. Jordan wants to know, Barnes, Green, and Blake all in play? I don't know about them all.
I mean, certainly not on the same roster. I guess if one of... I mean, I always just side with the starter unless I have a really strong feeling on one of the other ones. If you're really in desperate need of multiple places of salary cap relief, I guess you could use 2.
But certainly not on the same roster.
No, and I don't think that's what Jordan was asking.
I thought it was funny the way Mike...
I like to take the questions and form them in a way where I can have a strong opinion back.
Well, yes, I certainly understand that. I don't see Draymond Green as a viable option tonight. Even if they go big and have him at the 3, his value is not that of what it would be when he's like starting in place or playing at the 4, while D. Lee or someone else playing at the 5. So that's where I would go. Big Al worth the price tonight? ? That from Risky Rick. That's a nice name. Oh, Risky Rick. Dave, I'll let you start.
I don't think so. I don't see the reason to. I don't want to say I don't see a reason to play him, but Minnesota, Pekovic is back, and Love's not a great defender, but he's also not terrible. And I think when you're looking at, if we're talking about DraftKings or DraftDay, where multi-position eligibility is a factor, I would much rather take Anthony Davis against Portland at home with LaMarcus Aldridge out than Jefferson if we're talking multi-position eligibility. Otherwise, I think there's still options like Hibbert. I even like Chris Bosh tonight against Denver. So it's not that I don't like Jefferson. I just don't think I'll be spending on him because I think there are better options elsewhere.
Yeah. Is Anthony Davis matchup proof? I guess I would say. Like you said, you'd rather have Anthony Davis. Is he matchup proof? You saw he did against Memphis, Dave. Is he matchup proof?
I don't like to say anyone's matchup proof. I mean, it's either. Yeah, I guess he is because he's performed really well against really good defenses. So it's all dependent if he's feeling it or not. It almost seems like the matchup is irrelevant. But in this case, the matchup isn't irrelevant. With Aldridge out, I really like him. Not even so much because of the matchup against Robinson or Wright, but because the game should stay a lot closer now.
Yeah. Your thoughts, Mike? Al Jeff.
Sweet.
Scott loves him some Al Jeff.
Yeah,
big
I know
surprise.
Scott loves Al Jefferson. My thing with him is if you're calling a guy matchup proof, that means he's never going to be underpriced, right? I mean, if he's just always performing amazingly, he's going to be priced accordingly, which means you're never going to get value, and you're never going to be able to predict when the value is going to come if the matchup doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So I don't think that's being disrespectful for Al to say the matchup matters. Yeah, either that or you're just accepting that you don't know what he's going to do and you're just hoping tonight's going to be the night that he hits value.
Yeah. I mean,
you
Al
know
Jeff
what I'm
is
saying? Like I don't know.
Yeah,
if I
he's just not big on he's not like on I like Kemba's matchup tonight if his price
I like Kemba a lot.
Is low enough against Minnesota. Al Jeff, his price is price has risen a little bit, and Minnesota is doing better at protecting the rim versus when they did not have Peck. So it has made some sort of difference. We are getting news that Tyreke Evans is out. If someone can confirm that, that'd be great.
God, really?
Yes. Sports is Fixed just says Tyrese illness out.
Sports is fixed.
Yep.
Eric Gordon,
who is probable tonight, you have to think is now in play. So, how does this make you feel as far as Eric Gordon and even Anthony Davis? Does his usage rate go up without Tyreke on the floor? I think so.
Let's look.
I kind of like him with Tyreke on the floor, but because Tyreke seems to be the best passer out there.
Well, how much is he passing would be the question.
He's nearing double-digit assists every game he starts.
Wait. Let's not even get on this road because it looks like this was a fantasy alarm thing.
Oh.
He is playing. Let's not even go down this road.
Dag nabbit, Sports is fixed. Come correct next time, buddy.
Can we ban him from the chat?
Get out of here, guy.
He's been a loyal viewer. You're allowed one troll mistake.
No.
As long as he wasn't trolling.
He was not. Trust me, he was not trolling. His handle might be Sports is Fixed, but he is not a guy that
He's trying to fix all these contests, telling everyone Tyreek's out.
When I hear sports is fixed, with all due respect, Dave, I just think of like some hillbilly. Sports is fixed. You know what I mean?
Why are you saying no offense to me? Because I live in the South?
Nah, because you're a hillbilly. Because you're a hillbilly, man. I'm just joking. But yeah, sports is fixed. I don't know. I get a kick out of it.
All right.
Sorry, back to your regularly scheduled programming.
Okay, back to the regularly scheduled programming. Speaking of jorts, Dave, we have a nice looking picture of you on the screen now, looking good, my man.
I can't see these. Why can't you ever make it so we can see these?
Well, if you're looking on the live stream, you can. But
then won't screw up my sound?
No, well, not if you mute it. Gosh, you Northerners don't know.
All right.
Really don't know how the mute button works, do you?
Oh no, I can see that goofy ass smile this whole time now, though. I'd rather not know about it.
What picture is up there of me, Dave?
The one where the beautiful sunset is behind you. You have a nice glass of water, a piece of lettuce on the plate. You're looking at the camera, and it's like, wow.
You look like you're in sync.
Listen. Anyone from the Philadelphia... Oh, shit. Sorry. Anyone from the Philadelphia area knows that that restaurant, R2L, man, that's like 80 floors up. Beautiful restaurant. You should be jealous instead of making fun of me.
No. We are. I'm just talking about your eyes in this picture are just absolutely, like, stunning.
Wow, Dave, I really appreciate that. It means a lot. You can use that for my avatar, okay? That's the one I sent you. I want to look purty.
Well, you look adorable in this, for sure. As far as some of the other games, let's get back on track. The highest over-under game is going to be this Spurs-Lakers game. We've talked about just, like any Lakers or DL that you want to play, Mike. Wesley Johnson. I mean, this Lakers team.
I don't really want to play any Lakers.
Yeah, you don't know who's going to step up. I mean, last night was like Kendall Marshall all of a sudden was getting run. I mean,
yeah, especially in a tough matchup for them, a huge spread. I probably wouldn't mess around. If you get Ryan Kelly still at like near minimum, but even that's not like.
Yeah.
That doesn't do much for me.
I was going to say the same. Ryan Kelly's the only option that might be somewhat appealing, only if he's really cheap. He's been playing really well lately, though. 30-plus fantasy points, DraftKings scoring in 3 straight games.
He will get locked down tonight. Nuggets against the Heat. And in Miami, 10.5-point game. LeBron? Chandler? Lawson? Echo? Dave, you're killing me with this echo, man. You're killing me. See what you can do about that.
I'm trying, man. I'm kind of in a bad spot right now. Trust me, it's not intentional.
Like, when you say a bad spot, do you mean emotionally or physically?
You know, I'll let you figure that out.
Little column A, little column B.
I don't know. This looks like a guy that's enjoying life. As far as this Nuggets game, anybody that you're liking, Mike?
I think LeBron could have a pretty huge game. I don't know if there's enough salary cap relief options across the board to make him fit nicely, but where you need a small forward. People forget, he spends a lot of time at power forward in the games as well when they go small, and that's what Denver sucks against. They're like dead last in defensive efficiency, or at least near dead last against power forwards. Give up the most points and rebounds, or near the most points and rebounds in the league against power forwards. So, I mean, LeBron's always
I think he's in
Not a
play
high floor,
tonight.
but I think he could actually hit value tonight.
Oh, shut up. Look who we got here. Look who it is.
Hey.
Can you position the camera a little bit to where we can see more than from the neck up? We want to see full body shot. Now his microphone isn't working. Hey.
Now?
Yeah, put some...
Dink keeps saying lower. I don't know why, but he does.
For the camera. Hey, we could hear you. You need some headphones.
What about now?
Yeah, but we can hear ourselves. There's a huge echo. So put some headphones in your computer or in that mic.
You're killing me with this, man. Maybe I just need to get an all new everything. How about that?
I've just realized that
was
it's
me.
420 and we have only covered like 2 games.
That's like 4 games. So Washington Orlando would be a good game to start with. We'll do Washington Orlando and Boston Phoenix.
Orlando's driving me nuts with their rotation lately, with starting O'Quinn and Harkless instead of Tobias and
Okay, and you guys talked me off of Vooch and Jameer on Wednesday. And
I did?
Well, your partner in crime and Scott both like
I thought Jameer was okay play because he was going to get 30 minutes and playing way up in pace, but Vooch was like a GPP play for me Wednesday. I still think he was a GPP play.
Well,
I mean, we knew he had that upside in him. It was just the risk of whether that upside would hit was unknown.
I had him in every lineup I had, him and Jameer, and then took him out because Scott and Drew talked me off of them.
Maybe you should stick to your guns.
No, I'm just kidding. I didn't have them in every lineup. But I did like both of them had good matchups, but it is true. We don't know what they're going to do. Harkless had like a whopping 6 fantasy points.
Yeah, Harkless, he has some games where his usage rate is like single digits, which is pretty remarkable. I mean, like 5. And especially now that he had a few games when he was playing minutes in the upper 30s that his price is adjusted, I think he's a non-play, even if he keeps starting.
Oh, man. Dink said, hey, Dave, should I play Chris Paul? Yes. Yes, I probably helped in you not wanting to play Chris Paul because...
Maybe we should just all not talk to each other.
Yeah. Oh, hey, Dink, what about this? Ooh, I don't know about playing 3 Knicks.
You guys get knocked out last night?
I liked your
Wednesday.
3 Knicks
Thanks for
strategy.
carrying, Dave.
You didn't ask me about it.
Oh, yeah, Wednesday.
I know. I really should have. I'm not blaming.
I would have said I liked it. I thought about if I didn't like Cousins so much, I would have rolled out Tyler and Aldridge.
Look, part of being a good daily fantasy player is not accepting responsibility. And I'm not saying that Dink was 100% at fault. I would put him like at 80% and Scott at the other 20%. So, there you go. But yeah, this Orlando game, there just doesn't seem to be
anything.
Yeah, I do like John Wall as a possible play.
I don't think he's. I mean, it's not that I don't like him. It's just I feel like there's a lot better options out there. Like what Kemba Walker for a lesser price.
Man, this chat is getting salty really quick. So let's just go ahead and move on to the next game. Boston Phoenix. It's got a pretty high over/under in Boston. So thoughts on this game? PJ Tucker is back, and Bledsoe, assuming he's playing as well. So thoughts on this Boston Phoenix play? Do you see anybody like Kelly Olynyk, a 6.25 on DraftDay? Someone that I would consider.
Nah, not really. Maybe I don't know.
Don't like playing those guys that are getting 20 minutes.
Yeah, and now that Bledsoe is back and should be in the starting lineup, it's going to be a lot of things should change.
I was pretty annoyed that Bledsoe played 32 minutes. Those limited minutes he was supposed to get the other night.
They actually said he wasn't on a restriction before the game.
Well, I guess that's my fault then. I must have missed that. I saw at least earlier in the day that he was expected to play limited minutes off the bench.
Yeah, right before they said he won't be on a limit. Not that he was an appealing play anyway, but it definitely affects everybody else.
Yeah, affected. But Marcus and Markieff still ended up doing all right.
PJ Tucker is not a thing tonight. He's no longer a thing.
It's not a thing. Not with Bledsoe back.
No chance.
Green's playing the threesome, and Marcus is playing really well.
Quite honestly, with Bledsoe back, I know he plays shooting guard, but I'd be concerned about a lot there. Even though a lot of the more unpredictable guys are power forwards and small forwards. Like Mike said, if Green plays some small forward, we could have a lot of minutes lost between some of those front court members, and we don't know who it's going to be. So I would just avoid that game altogether tonight. Even Dragic, I don't think Dragic's worth a play right now with Bledsoe back until we see what he can do, because he was much more effective this year when Bledsoe's out, and kind of loses a lot of assist potential when he's in.
All right, so if I'm looking at the positional value, I do think that Rondo on DraftKings could potentially warrant a play.
I like Rondo.
Yeah.
Especially, Dragic will probably still be on him, right?
It's Dragic.
Oh, give him a break, man. Give him a break.
No, I'm saying it for both of you guys, not just him, Dave.
We could have just moved on and talked about this after the show. You're not supposed to...
Okay, no. Yeah, we won't talk about pronunciations.
Dragic should be on Rondo tonight, you would assume.
Yeah. So, Mike, remind me also to Kawhi Leonard to talk to Dave after the show about him as well. His pronunciation.
I accidentally typoed Davis Maddock the other day.
You can just say Davis. We know his last name.
Huh?
You can just say Davis. We know his last name.
All right, Davis. And I said I wanted to say I think I'm gonna play Dragic on Wednesday, and I said I think I'm gonna play Tragic on accident. I'm pretty sure at that point my DSBB hopes were gone.
It's like the D except with the T.
And they're not they're close on the keyboard, but they're not right next to each other.
OMG! Oh gosh, tragic. Like Goran Tragic. Did you know that Goran's brother is Zoran?
I bet he is.
No, like Zoran with a Z. That's his name. Their names are Goran and Zoran.
That's so close to Zoltan.
Zoltan.
Anyways, tragic. Oh gosh, hilarious.
There was actually a Zoltan in the Olympic figure skating event this year. I thought that was very interesting, and yes, I watched it.
Oh. Can we, since we skipped over the Charlotte game pretty quickly.
Okay.
This is off topic, but I was just looking at my notes. I like Kemba Walker a lot at home, playing way up in pace.
We already talked about liking Kemba, but go ahead.
I must have been responding to some chat.
Mike had this prophetic statement that was about to come out. I gotta get this in, guys. Please, just 1 second.
I like sex. It's nice.
Very nice.
I'm out.
Oh gosh! All right, so Mike Leone says that he likes Kemba good.
Mike, how do you feel about George Hill tonight?
Make sure you note that Tyreek only 6.6 on DraftKings tonight. So yeah, Tyreek is in play. All right, this LA and Utah game at Utah. Let's see. The spread is 9.5. Man, there's some disgusting games tonight. Really,
disgusting as in delicious, or disgusting as in disgusting?
Like
disgusting.
Really, only 5 games are like gonna be close games according to Vegas.
Well, Vegas doesn't know nothing, man. I'm being sarcastic. I'm sure they do know a little bit of something.
Good day, sir.
I really gotta stop my Spotify from going while I'm doing this. Okay. We'll take some questions if you have them. And we'll just go ahead and just continue on with this debauchery that has been this Insiders TV show.
This is the best show of the week. Don't lie.
Yeah.
I missed you, Michael. I really did.
Anyone like DeAndre Liggins tonight? This is a real question from Condu. We'll just move on.
Hold on.
Do you like DeAndre Liggins?
Yeah. There's this new site out called like fantasybus.com or something where if you're bad, you get a lot of points. So actually Liggins isn't even an option there because he won't take enough shots. So no, I'm not huge on him tonight.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I got a spam message from them that I just ignored.
Liggins got cut 4 hours ago.
If I wanted to play bad people, then I would just play Mike in a head-to-head.
Dave, I wish you never told me about watching the live feed because you're way zoomed in my face and it's making me very self-conscious.
I'm not really zoomed in on your face.
All right, fair enough.
Not really. Okay, as far as questions, is Lance Stevenson in play, Mike?
Yes.
Okay.
Damn right he is.
We talked about it earlier. Can you kind of expound on that, though?
Right after he thought
Are you trolling me because of the Kemba thing, or you really want me to talk about Lance?
No, I really want you to... no, you don't have to talk about Lance. Let's see. Rondo, Kemba, and Dame, rank them. We talked about liking all 3 of these. So which ones do you like?
And who?
Rondo, Kemba, and Dame. Rondo, Kemba, and Dame. Dave.
Who the hell is Dame?
Damian Lillard.
Why can't you just call him
I'm reading the chat. Why can't you understand that Dame is Damian Lillard? Who else is it going to be?
I mean, I had an...
Damian Fishburne?
Ho-ho! All right, well, Dame, Rondo, or Kemba. I'm going Walker. I do like Lillard a lot.
He said rank them. Rank them.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing.
Okay.
I'm going Kemba.
Okay.
And then I'm going Dame.
Okay.
And then I'm going Rondo. However, if we're speaking strictly cash game, I'm going Kemba, Rondo, Dame.
I like Dame first.
Dame, Kemba, Rombo.
Yeah.
Rombo. Rombo. Oh my gosh. Oh man, my twisted got tongued there. All right, lightning round 4 questions. You know the rules. Only 3-word answers. Bellinelli, thoughts. Mike.
No, thank you.
All right. Matt Barnes, the thing.
Question?
Dave.
Who?
Matt Barnes, is he the thing?
No, not really. There's too many other good options.
3 words, remember. Tragic or
break
drunk?
in because my wife just iMessaged me. It reminded me before this broadcast ends to wish everyone a happy Pi Day.
Yo, 3.14 up in this piece. Yep. There was a cute picture of my daughter in a shirt that said cutie pie, and it had the pie side. That's so cute. Drew said, "Do not go to Fantasy Bust."
That's what I was laughing at earlier. Yeah.
Oh man. Okay. All right. Let's get to the lightning round for real. Ryan Kelly or Harrison Barnes? Mike.
Harrison Barnes.
Okay. Can Laufey please say Philly things?
I don't understand what that means.
I don't either. Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis, Lance. That would be Lance Stevenson, Dave. Enos Cantor. Or Tyreek Evans, John Wall, or Bosch, Chris Bosch. Which one would you prefer?
You just stopped at every single name.
Well, I know. I just figured with the whole Dame thing, you need.
So take this roster and then this roster and pick someone from each of them. Are you serious, Dave? Come on, help me out here a little bit.
Davis, Lance.
There's supposed to be some moderation with these questions. What are you doing? Pick and choose.
Davis, Lance, and Enos, or Tyreek, Wall, and Bosch. I'll go ahead and just say it's the first one, and it's not close. Let's see. Anyone notice Batum covers teams' point guards? Yes, sometimes he does. Defensive assignments. Let's see. Blake Kidd's value tonight? Question mark. Mike.
Yes.
It's also steak and BJ Armstrong Day. That from sports_25 to life. Yes, that's like the man version of Valentine's Day. Someone started a Facebook group way back when, and it still hasn't caught on. Amir Johnson, question mark. He wasn't playing Wednesday. Mike, you did not play him. Is he in play tonight?
Why wouldn't you ask Laufey this question? Why am I still zoomed in?
Because Laufey was not paying attention.
Amir Johnson.
Yeah, he's in play.
Okay. Mills or Scola as a cheap bench play? I think I'd have to go with...
Why do you have to take any of them?
A cheap bench play. He wants a cheap bench play.
Petty
Is this
Mills.
Is this a seasonal league?
No, but you're getting value out of expecting guys to play fourth quarter, like a GPP. We talked about at the beginning of the show.
I get it, but we're still guessing, and in a blowout, it doesn't. You're looking at Popovich right now. Mills, I don't care if it's a blowout. Yeah, he might have 30 fantasy points tonight, but he could easily give you 7 fantasy points. I'm just saying. And then Scola, yeah, I guess, okay, but why would you risk those guys when you have somebody that could, when you have these guys out here that are probably going to give you 30 minutes, like almost a
I
lock.
like Mills in a tournament. I think he could get you 30 fantasy points tonight.
Yeah, in a tournament.
Hold on. We're off. We need to get back onto lightning round status because we're way behind. It's really just 3-word answers.
All right, fine.
If I'm choosing, it's going to be Scola. Draymond Green or Harrison Barnes in GPP? Mike.
Harrison Barnes.
Rolo or Cantor if starting? Dave.
Rolo.
LeBron or Anthony Davis? I'll choose LeBron.
I'm going Davis then.
Oh, you crazy.
I'm
let's
not that
see.
crazy.
Dave's pronunciation tonight, anus or dang? David West or Fareed? Mike.
West.
I'm just confused. Fareed.
Let's see.
Really?
Fareed has been tearing it up.
Miami's like one of the worst rebounding teams.
Yeah, I know. But
West isn't going to play much.
Let's see. David West or CB3? Dave.
Is this dude serious? DW30. No, David West.
You're just saying that because you don't know.
Actually,
you don't know who CB3 is.
Chris Bosh?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm pretty aware, my friend. Thank you, though. Actually, I guess I'll go Bosch here. Actually, yeah. Let me go with CB3.
Oh man! After you Google CB3, what does it mean?
I've been talking
Bill
about Bosch all night.
Bill
really?
or Aflalo?
God, Dave.
Bill or Aflalo? Mike.
Aflalo.
Let's see. I would go Aflalo as well. Bosch CB1, not CB3. Another also. Oh, this show is just off of the rails. Ridiculous. It is ridiculous. This is what happens when Mike comes back. It's like pent up ridiculousness after 4 weeks of being gone. So, anyways, that will do it for today's show. Are we
gonna do the rapid fire?
Wait, yeah, let's do the rapid fire. For people want to see me give rapid fire picks, best in history. So let's see, rapid fire. We'll do this real quick. Anthony Davis or Kevin Love?
Kevin Love.
You don't have to answer really quick. like your words, but just pick really quick.
Kevin Love.
I'm trying to hold. I mean, whatever you put in is gonna win.
Pretty much. We don't have time to do the rapid fire max for high upside plays, so tune in on Monday and hopefully we will have that. Okay. Well, that will do it. Thanks to Dave. Dave's article is getting posted as soon as we get done with the show because Dan is on vacation, and Dave submitted it to me right before we went on.
15 minutes.
Right, but I was already in show prep. Something
that's on you, not me.
No, something you should seriously consider for next time.
Oh man!
So
he making me look so bad today. This is unbelievable.
Well, no, you didn't really need help from you didn't really need help from me today. So thanks to Dave for joining us. At Laufey_D, you can find him at and his article again will be on Fantasy Insiders shortly. And then Mike Leone, you might know him on Twitter as Mike Leone at Leonem4444. And he is with Roto Experts, and he writes the Daily Fantasy Rundown column. And again, if you are looking for some good content, he and Drew, our good buddy Drew Dinkmeyer, have excellent content. So as far as content goes, they are some of the best, and we'll make sure that you have your good plays tonight. So that'll do it. Join us Monday. We'll be back. And check out Fantasy Insiders over the weekend for weekend plays, college basketball plays. It's tournament time, baby. It is freaking tournament time, and I'm happy. I'm really happy.
You're going to lose, man. You don't have a chance.
No, that's false. Okay. Well, that'll do it. Good show, guys. And by good show, I mean...
horrendous show.
I take full responsibility for the disaster that happened this afternoon. I can't read that.
It was a fun show.
What is he doing?
Happy Pie Day, y'all.
Mike, could you see that?
He says you wear jorts.
Don't listen to him. I did not say that.
Did it say that?
I did not
Did
say
it really say that? I would never wear jorts.
I didn't say that.
Are we still being heard in the...
I don't think we've been heard this whole entire show, but yes, we're still streaming.
Well, they sure heard me earlier.
Come on, guys. Come on.
I'm ready to do another hour talking about starting pitchers.
Come on. Come on, guys. This is some techno music.
Have you done your research already, Mike?
That's what I've been doing all day today. Because I'm pretty far behind.
All right, fellas. I'll talk to you later.
Okay.
And that's it.
I kind of like this music.
No, you don't.
Hell yeah, I do.
No, you like the 80s music.
This is good stuff. Hey, my apologies for the article today, though, man. I knew it was coming out short, but I did throw it right up now.
Oh, I already did.
Unless you don't trust me.
No, I will. I will. It's good stuff. It's good stuff. Thanks everybody for joining us. We'll talk to you on Monday.